Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program Eyes on Corruption, the program that comes to you every Thursday, Nigerian time, 7 o'clock. Today's topic is budget padding, a recurrent decimal in the legislative and executive arms of government in Nigeria. Before we go on, just sit down and listen to our jingles. We'll be back.
Eyes on Corruption, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN presents Eyes on Corruption, a weekly x-ray of social and political issues. Eyes on Corruption, an expose on issues that bother on corruption-related practices in Nigeria. Eyes on Corruption, informative, educative, and enlightening. Eyes on Corruption, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Join us on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and our website, gcsdn.org. Host, J. Ehizefua Ohali.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to the program Eyes on Corruption. And today's topic, we are trashing the topic budget padding. Budget padding has become a recurrent decimal in the executive and legislative arms of government affairs in Nigeria. Budget padding in the Nigerian context is an unethical and deceptive way of inflating a proposed budget. It can be done by artificially increasing estimates with the aim of cashing out the inflated portions to be shared among the perpetrators. Budget padding is unethical because it can lead to a harmful consequence on the financial position of the country or organization, where it can be difficult to cultivate a culture of integrity and cooperation. It is also important to note that padding may not be unethical forever. In other words, padding may be genuine. However, this is in very rare cases. In previous administrations, budget padding has been identified in several instances as isolated cases in Nigeria. But the level with which the current regime of the President Muhammadu Buhari APC has raised the bar of this nefarious act and perfected it to be likened to one of the tasks of government is mind-blowing. Very recently, in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, a whopping sum of 206 billion crept into their budget for 2023. It has also been earlier reported by the ICPC chairman, Professor Bolaji Owasanoye, that there were duplicated projects totaling 300 billion naira in the 2021 budget, and another set of duplicated projects amounting to 100 billion naira in the 2022 budget. These are corruption cases, and we are waiting to see how they are going to play out. Now, with the 206 billion naira that has crept into the budget of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, as at this moment, no one has given any satisfactory explanation on to this occurrence with detail. Will somebody be identified and penalized for this dubious move? Has any of the perpetrators of previous cases of budget padding ever been penalized? How many of such incidents have gone unnoticed and cashed out? These are some of the questions we will be looking at today in course of this program. Budget padding. What is your take, Nigerians? Why is it that in a country where people can barely have a square meal a day, such humongous amounts of money are flying and Nobody is held accountable. Nobody has been penalized. No successful case has been established that has gone through the process to the extent that somebody has been identified, penalized, and probably sued to court and tried for any of these. Must we continue in this way forever? In a country where we are borrowing to even pay workers' salaries, in a country where borrowing has reached an all-time high and over 60% of the population, according to statistics released recently, are under abject poverty. Must we continue in this light? Now, in the recent case of budget padding, the Senate intervened in this matter, and we are waiting to see how this will play out. Let's just sit back and watch this program. Let's sit back and watch what happened recently, and let us begin to learn from it.
Budget for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. The committee issued the summons when the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, defended her ministry's 2023 budget proposal. During the interaction, the humanitarian minister could not furnish the committee with the exact details of what the sum of 206 billion naira in her budget is intended for. She explained that the fund is 10 times the amount requested for projects for the Northeast Development Commission and National Social Safety Net in its 2022 budget, which was not released.
2022, which was not released, and we said part of it is for the next budget and part for the NDC. The money was not released, and now we have seen it occurring by almost 10-fold, and we're going to also fight from the Ministry of Finance to know why this increase, despite the fact that the previous year the money was not even released for the project. So
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you could hear the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management trying to lay claim to the fact that even in the previous year, there was some money earmarked for some projects, but that money was never released. And surprising to her, for the 2023 budget, an amount 10 times that amount that was supposed to have been released last year crept into this budget without her notice. And she is finding it difficult to even explain how this came about, and is now hoping to get back to the Ministry of Finance to ask questions about these occurrences and why it has to be even 10 times the amount that was projected in the previous year for a particular project, which were supposed to be funded by borrowed funds. Now, how can a ministry be presenting a budget and you are presenting what you don't even know the contents of? Is that competence? What can we say about that? How can you be presenting a budget that you don't even know the contents of what you are presenting to the House? Now, that's another angle to it. Now, the Ministry of Finance that injected that 206 billion, how did they include this in their budget without the minister in charge of this very office taking into awareness? How can this be said to have gone on without, were there no checks? Was the budget not properly vetted? What is the reason behind this? When even those that are concerned are not carried along, then something fishy is happening right there. This is not something that one will say it is done with a genuine intention. There are some deceptive moves in that case, because if such huge amount of money is included in the budget, then there has to be justifications for that. It has to be linked to specific projects, and these projects are supposed to be identifiable, and these projects cannot be unknown to those that are supposed to implement this budget. So this is corruption at its best. This is corruption at its best, and we are waiting to see what the ICPC and the EFCC are going to do about this. Although I am not expecting anything to happen, because in the previous years there have been budget inflations here and there, even right from the regime of President Obasanjo. That was when these things were made known to the public. There were budget paddings and budget inflations of all sorts, but nobody up to today has been held accountable or tried for such things, and no logical and detailed investigation have been carried out in respect of these past incidents. And of course, I am not expecting any miracle to happen in this case, because it is all a rigged and corrupt system. And for that reason, come 2023, Nigerians must stand up and ensure that governance is actually given to the people by the people. Nigerians must stand to select or elect who they want to be their leader. The rogue system where money bags hijack power and lord it over the rest will not be sustainable anymore. We beckon on INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, to be an unbiased umpire in the 2023 election, and we hold them to their words that they are ready to conduct a free, fair, and credible election where money bags will not hijack. Free, fair, and credible elections that will not be business as usual, where people will intimidate others to submission and intimidate them to vote for them. or dole out money to people and encourage them to be snatching ballot boxes or disrupting peaceful electoral processes. We call on the security agencies to, as a matter of urgency, begin to strategize on how to nip any corrupt election practices in the bud before they even happen. Nigerians are wiser today, and Nigerians must be ready to bequeath a better nation come 2023 by electing credible, trustworthy, competent leaders with capacity and integrity, of course, somebody we can trust. And that is why Nigerians in diaspora, led by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, undertook a poll and selected a candidate that they will be supporting come 2023. Please, fellow Nigerians have suffered too much in the hands of rogues who have lorded over as leaders in the country in the past decades. Nigerians cannot continue to suffer the ruthlessness and evil-mindedness of the current and past regimes. We need a change so that Nigeria can get it right in the area of leadership. Nigeria getting it right in the area of leadership will automatically transform to Africa as a continent getting it right with leadership. And this is why we are clamoring and trying to sensitize the people to vote with their minds intact, with their minds and brains. Vote your conscience, vote who we can trust. Among these contestants in the presidential race, who is that candidate that can be trusted? Who is that candidate that will not be arrogant? Who is that candidate that will not turn the other way while things are going wrong? Who is that candidate that will take the bull by the horn, no matter whose ox is God, and take a decisive action for the betterment of all, rather than for the selfish interest of a few? Who is that candidate that will not mortgage the interest of our nation, the interest of the common person, to the foreign world? Who is that person that will not be blackmailed due to its antecedents by the international community? Who is that person that will not be held hostage by their past to the extent that they cannot do the needful to bequeath a good nation to us and the generations yet unborn? Nigerians must stand and exercise their voting right come 2023 without fear or favor. If you choose to do the wrong thing come 2023, your suffering will multiply. The suffering of today will be a child's play compared to what will be obtainable if we elect the wrong leader come 2023. And for this reason, Nigerians must rise to the occasion, put your vote where your heart is. Politicians will come and throw money at you. Of course, it is the stolen wealth they are throwing at you. Take it, don't vote for such. Vote for the right person, vote for the candidates that we can trust. Don't vote for those that feel it is their turn, but vote for the president that will salvage our nation from the ruins we are wallowing in at the moment, so that we will not continue to be a laughing stock to other nations. We will not continue to be mocked as a country where over 130 million are under abject poverty. We will not be seen as a country that is the capital of poverty capital of the world. This is our cry today, that you hear this word. Harden not your voice, harden not your heart, harden not your heart. Make sure you vote wisely and ensure the right person gets elected to the seat of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and in every other political elective positions. Vote people you can trust, people who have the capacity, pedigree, and the expertise, people who can take that political will to do the needful. Nigeria deserves better leadership than we have gotten since independence. Nigeria deserves genuine, honest, and God-fearing people to mount the throne in Aso Rock come 2023. We must not fail this time around. Posterity will judge us if we do not do the right thing. And our children and our children's children will ask us, when the nation was sinking, what role did you play? When the nation was sinking and you had the opportunity to elect a good leader, did you do so? Did you sensitize others to do so? That is our cry. Today is a day that you must take that decisive stand to salvage the nation, to save the country by taking it back from the hands of the thieves, from the hands of the rogues, from the hands of the political criminals that have crippled the nation in the past decades. APC, PDP has not done any good for our nation. It is time to try a new hand. It is time to try a new set of people that we can trust. APC, PDP, they are one and the same. Ladies and gentlemen, let us strive and be united in taking this decisive stand to change the narrative of our nation, a nation that is heavily endowed by God. The citizens are just making a mess of the potentials that are bound in our nation. Even the human potentials alone, it is enormous. Not talk of the natural endowments. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, tribalism, religious affiliation will not bequeath a good nation to us. Let us stand and do the right thing come 2023. Nigerians are tired and Nigerians are running out of patience. We must, as a matter of urgency, activate emergency in the political space of Nigeria, and declare emergency in leadership so that Nigerians can begin to take a drastic action to change the narrative of bad leadership that we have had since independence. This is the time. This is the time to make amends, because Nigeria is grinding to a halt. Banditry, insecurity, terrorism is pervading the whole landscape. We cannot stand aloof and allow this to continue to happen. This is our cry, fellow Nigerians. This is Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, and the program is Eyes on Corruption. The topic today is budget padding, a recurrent decimal in the legislative and executive arm of government in Nigeria, a country where people are barely able to have a square meal a day. You can see the amount of money that are creeping into budget, and people are not able to answer questions as to what these are to be used for. How did they come about? What projects are they tied to? How are they going to be funded? These questions are unanswerable because there are deceptive moves, there are nefarious intentions behind such actions. The ICPC chairman noted there were duplicated projects totaling 300 billion in 2021 budget, and another set of duplicated projects amounting to 100 billion in the 2022 budget. Now, in the 2023 budget, we are seeing a whooping sum of 206 billion. This is unaccounted for. How have we gotten to this level of decadence? How have we gotten to this level of unprofessionalism, even in financial matters? A country that has borrowed so much that we have lost count of the borrowing. This is not acceptable. Nigerians must stand and decide to end this charade and elect capable leaders that we can trust, leaders that have passion and drive to turn the narrative around for better and for the common good of the common masses. Fellow Nigerians, I admonish you, 2023 is coming. Election will be coming in about 100 days' time. Please do not make the mistake of voting APC or PDP again. Never again shall PDP and APC happen in the life of our nation. They have ruined our country. They have destroyed our common heritage. They have brought division amongst the ethnic nationalities, among the religious divide. This is unacceptable. Nigeria deserves a better leadership. Nigerians deserve a good leader that will be decisive and that will bear true allegiance to the people. Thank you. Until I come your way again, same time, Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. This is Jay Ehizefa Okali. I leave you with this.